Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
93.7 The Ticket veteran and Bill Callahan Fan Club president, Jake Bakoven.
I love Billy Steve.
Coming at you live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This is On the Block with Strick and Bob. Hold up.
Congratulations to everybody out there. You've made it once again to Friday. The weekend is upon us. And this time of year, that means high school football players coming into town for Friday Night Lights for Nebraska football. They've got plenty of local talent and some from outside the local area coming in tonight. So very exciting time for Nebraska football. I'm Jake Bachman. He is the Husker Hall of Famer, longtime NBA vet Eric Strickland. And Strick, I wanted to start with that and kind of go through your own experiences through these camps. Of course, satellite camps and that type of thing was a very big deal with Jim Harbaugh and that crew maybe 5 years ago or so. Was it the same type of idea when you were young, these type of camps?
They weren't. I think the greatest exposure, because obviously we didn't have AAU basketball. We did have it, but it was very limited in the scope. I mean, there was certain national tournaments that were available, and you would pretty much go there. Maybe we just didn't have the budget at the time. The sponsorships that was needed in order to play more of those types of tournaments. So in essence, we would just kind of go to the Vegas one. That was the biggest one that would give us the exposure to, pretty much every college in the United States. So if you wanted to get exposure, I mean, it was costly. You had to look at 5-star camps. I think they had back then. There were some other national camps, and if you're ranked high enough, which I was able to attend, you would go to an Nike ABCD camp, and that would be like in Indianapolis, and it would be pretty much who's who from all across the country would be there and compete and get after it a little bit, and that would give you another opportunity for some exposure. So, yeah, no, I didn't really have access to those coming up, and my dad, although he did pretty well, as far as being an officer in the Air Force, and we didn't really look at those camps. I think we did a lot of regional camps. I would definitely attend Nebraska camps. I think that's probably what helped sell it for me, is coming down here, staying in the dorms. We would not only do just regular camps, but we would also do team camps. And so that exposure, playing in the Vandy and the time, and it just felt good. I love the bounce of the floor. It was just all things about it. And obviously, if you go to the state tournament, just the atmosphere, just all of that, and then the success of the program. So yeah, most kids pretty much stayed regional, unless you went to those, and you had to pay a pretty penny to go and stay at those big camps all across the country.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting how times have changed. Of course, kind of in the late 90s, I suppose, early 2000s, kind of Rivals and all those websites kind of got going and really blowing recruiting up. But it used to be, as I read these like preseason magazines, I still get excited for them, and they still have a little, kind of deal going with recruiting. But that was about the most that you would read about recruiting. It wasn't like everybody was as widely known, but within those circles, I mean, it was still a big deal, and you would know kind of who was ranked upon this or that. But it was more, they would kind of reach out to you if you were ranked, rather than you having to do the legwork.
Yeah, that's how it would. I mean, they would reach out to you. I think I was ranked in the upper tiers of the 100. I think the ABCD camp was only 100, and I think I was like 68 or 70 or something like that. And I mean, it was a beautiful thing when we went to the camp, and but we went to the AAU tournament to watch guys move up the list, like Curtis Marshall, having a great tournament, and just really came from maybe some forms of obscurity or to regional, and gave a national exposure, that led him to be able to go to NC State. And obviously he didn't go to Nebraska at the time, because a lot of us did. We kind of It was guard heavy down here at that time. With Jamar was here, and I think Cliff Scales was here, and it was very guard heavy. And a lot of us, we hung out, so we kind of knew where we were going. And he got that exposure to be able to go out to the ACC. So shoot, he made that jump. And then watching Andre, as like I said, we played Jason Kidd down there.
Oh yeah.
And although Jason didn't cover him, we covered each other and kind of canceled each other out as far as that ability. He shut me down, I shut him down, and we got to the point where whoever else was covering Dre, we were just like, Dre, you're going nuts. Give him the ball. And Dre basically went for like almost 40. So that raised his level as well. And so, to watch those things happen in front of your eyes of guys to be able to use that exposure and those experiences to be able to raise their recruitability as well as their those numbers. I think that's where the numbers really started. Even just before me, it was really big on the East Coast and the big cities, but a lot of those guys got invited, and your Jimmy Jacksons and Kenny Andersons and those types of guys, Jalen Roses and Chris Webbers, and sometimes they had other camps that were invitation and they got invited, but we didn't have as big of exposure in Nebraska at that time, so that's made it difficult.
Yeah, I can imagine so, but it's kind of cool to hear those stories and kind of think. So did you ever do any camps for football? I know you quit or walked away from football your senior year, right? So no, but you were still highly regarded enough.
Yeah. Yeah, I was in national publications. It was crazy when you're a high school kid, you're a junior in high school, and you're looking at national publications and your name pops up.
Yeah.
As top 10 receiver in the country, and then they start kind of listing who's kind of eyeing you, and
I didn't know that.
Yeah. You see the letters come, and sometimes you just think it's just people just sending out stuff, but I guess there's real interest that people are posing out there.
Yeah, so that's very cool. And Nebraska's got a lot of local talent, similar to you. I mean, a local guy coming in tonight, so for Friday Night Lights. So it's kind of cool. I know if you're interested, you can go and watch. It's open to the fans. So hopefully some of you guys do. I think it'll be kind of cool to see them run drills, and a lot of the guys have offers already, and a few of them don't. But it'll be fun to watch and see how that goes, and see how Husker recruiting goes over the next couple of days, because you never know.
Tell them where it's at.
I think it's at Memorial Stadium.
It's at Memorial Stadium.
Yeah. So you can go on down there. Also, Nebraska basketball, switching over to them, because they had a pretty good day as well. They grabbed their first commit for the 2023 class, and so it's actually Chase Clemens, who's a point guard, and he thinks that after watching Nebraska, he's been close to the McGowan's brothers his whole life, I
Cousins,
suppose.
Right?
I think so, yeah. So and he thinks that he could kind of be that missing part, the point guard. Hopefully, Nebraska's already kind of figured that out, so they just have to feel like that when he's watching it going back. But I just think that's kind of cool, and I was bringing it up on the ticket water cooler, is that regardless of kind of what's going on and pretty much the obvious situation at hand for both Frost and Hoiberg, which is win now or, we might be moving on, that at least Frost has been able to keep the recruiting momentum kind of up there, and certainly in the transfer portal, but also with the local talent here in the state. And for Nebraska basketball to already get a kid, do you think that weighs too much into their mind as they're looking at where they're going to commit? Because it's kind of interesting to kind of think is, how much is a coach's job security factor in when you're committing somewhere? Because apparently, I mean, obviously, if you're committing, you aren't worried about that. You're thinking they're going to get it turned around, and you've been sold that you could be part of the turnaround. But how much do you think that weighs into their decisions?
I mean, I think it's part of it, but I also think that the selling that probably, as he maybe stated, that the McGowan's brothers did a wonderful job of recruiting him, telling him about the place, telling him about the facilities, just laying some groundwork on those things. I think we miss out on the importance of those who are in the program, and those connections and relationships that are established, whether they're in their purview or in family, or whether it's by recruiting visit or whatever the case may be, you miss how important those relationships can be. So they did a good job. I think they also are looking at the fact that Herbert, we're uncertain as to Herbert's status, but it doesn't sound, if you listen to him or you look at the quotes, and maybe you're not getting the full quote, that it's something else about the place. It's something else about the team. It's something else about the openness in the position that it inspires him to want to be here. Something about the style. Now that could obviously change. If a new coach comes in here, he might be a Mo Iba type, where he's just like slowing down the whole gig. But the style could also just make it interesting for them. So that means I think it does a good job of putting pressure on guys in the staff to basically get the job done. You're starting to get these types of recruits. Remember, we talked about foundational, pieces that you want to build off of. They've kind of landed that, and as well as been effective in the transfer portal, as well as in the JUCO market with like Blaze Keita. So they're laying the foundation. That means they got to get to work. The staff has got to really get to work in order to allow it to come to fruition. Otherwise, you just never know how it's going to go.
Yeah, and for Chase Clemens, by the way, he is a 3-star point guard, 6 foot, 165 pounds. So maybe he needs to hit the weight room a little bit. Maybe not. Maybe they can. That's the how he can play. But either way, for a point guard, that's not too bad. But I guess he is. Was very impressed, like you said, with his cousin Bryce's development here in just 1 year, and I think we all were. He's still got things to obviously improve on, but you could see just the physicality. I mean, you're kind of worried about that early in the college process, or just kind of outside the Big Ten, and then it was kind of the same thing in the Big Ten. It was like, okay, well, now he's got to kind of adjust to that physicality, and he did. By season's end, he was really good. So maybe that's why Chase Clemens decides Nebraska. He had other offers: Xavier, Georgia, Tennessee, I know was involved, Kennesaw State. So I mean, he picked Nebraska over a few pretty darn good offers. So we'll kind of see where that takes Nebraska. But it's good to see them out in the recruiting trail, still getting stuff done. Bringing up college basketball, I know it doesn't get a whole lot of buzz. It seems like the offseason for college basketball, maybe it's just the brands are bigger, but the individual players, unless it's and I think what it really is just, you kind of focus on the future talent in the NBA. So most of those guys move on. And so there's not a huge story, but the other day, I didn't want to pass over this, is Drew Timme did announce that he's coming back to Gonzaga. He's got to be, and I don't project him to do great at the next level. So I think this is a great, and not just me, obviously. A lot of people don't project him to do too well, kind of seen as a mid-second round pick. He just doesn't fit because it's the land of the bigs. It's college basketball in my mind, and not so much in the pros. He doesn't fit the modern day pro structure as well.
Well, he's a stretch guy. So so that's why I wanted to ask, because I think Drew Timme, his skill here, I'll give you his skill set that I think translates, and then I'll give you why I think you're right.
Yeah.
His skill set that translates is his ability to stretch the floor. He can shoot. I mean, he can shoot threes as well. So he has that capacity. I think he does an average job to close to above average job of handling the ball. I think he reminds me of a Jokic type of person with his pass abilities, not the creative passing abilities, but his vision, his ability to make the play. And where I think he's deficient is his elevation. He doesn't jump well.
Athleticism?
His athleticism.
Yeah.
He doesn't jump well. He defensively can be a liability when you're talking about a space floor. And so when you think of those aspects, that's where it becomes trouble. I think he lost some weight. He's looks a lot better, but I think he needs this last season, and he needs to dominate. At that Gonzaga team.
Do you think that he could elevate? I mean, athleticism is kind of something you can't really work on too much. Do you think he could elevate to a first rounder? I mean, Yeah, I kind of think, Luka Garza didn't get a whole lot of playing time with Detroit, but that's kind of, and obviously there's a size difference there. But with athleticism kind of being what holding those guys back, I wonder if that's kind of his ceiling is regardless, you're going to be a second round pick type of deal. And maybe you can make your way. We've seen second round picks do it before. Obviously, we've seen undrafted guys like yourself do it before.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not necessarily mean that he's not going to make it. But I think NIL certainly probably had something to do with this. But regardless, it puts Gonzaga right there at the top as one of the best teams returning, and Jeff Goodman has them at number 1. He's got his top 5 for what it's worth is Gonzaga, North Carolina, Houston, Creighton at number 4 in Kansas, and no Big Ten team in the top 10, which is kind of disappointing that Nebraska didn't take that step forward, because then we could be talking about, hey, the Big Ten's kind of open this season. Maybe Nebraska, and obviously the Huskers are a little bit away from that, regardless of how open the Big Ten is. I think you'll see Michigan and Indiana top 20, top 25 type of teams, but it's pretty open when that's, there's no dominating presence there. But Gonzaga certainly, I just love to see it, because I love the college game. And when I really liked it, when I was younger, and you'd have junior, I always go back to those kind of Carolina teams like junior Vince Carter and junior Antoine Jameson. It's just like, man, these guys are stacked. We've seen them over the years. You go back with those teams that Rasheed Wallace and Jerry Stackhouse would stick around. Shane Battier was around for Duke for a long time. And, college basketball just kind of turned the corner. And then I think NIL can partially save college basketball. And this is a big one for them to get in Drew Timme.
I think so. I really do. I think it's huge for them. It's huge for their program. I don't know what they even had behind him that would have been a significant piece. I mean, obviously it was him and Chet Holmgren that were significant pieces there, and you throw somebody in there that kind of fills some void. But I don't know. There could have been a tremendous drop off. I think. I don't know when they're recruiting who was a guy that's a fill in for that type of position there. So I think Drew Timme is a solid player. I got a chance to watch him grow, obviously, when I was refereeing down in Texas. So I've seen his progression, and I know he works hard. He works for position. He works for rebound. He works at all aspects of his game. That's what made him so strong. But I just think his athleticism is going to be a deficiency for him, both on the defensive end as well as when you're talking about in the paint, because he's not like Draymond Green.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it will be fun to see if Hunter Salas can kind of get something going. He's kind of a 7th or 8th guy eighth guy on the team last year. Would only get minutes in games that didn't matter or too much. I shouldn't say only, but certainly once the tournament came around, didn't play too much. But they also landed, by the way, Gonzaga, for what it's worth, landed the Southern Player of the Year, Malachi Smith from Chattanooga. So Mark Few knows what he's doing. He's got things rolling again, and really it does kind of open up that conversation too. Is I think you can almost pencil in Gonzaga with Drew Timme returning as probably a number 1 seed. So just because they don't have that type of competition usually once they get into conference play. So maybe it'll depend a little bit what they do in the non-con. Speaking of non-con, the rumors are out there that Iowa is set to play Duke in Madison Square Garden this upcoming season. Iowa's been kind of looking to move their program forward. Obviously, we mentioned Luka Garza, Keegan Murray the last 2 years, All-Americans, and in Garza's case, the National Player of the Year. So they're trying to elevate that program. Hasn't quite hit the wins column in the NCAA tournament quite yet. But that's the type of stage you want Nebraska to eventually get on, but you got to put yourself there. And so, I know we don't like Iowa around here, but that's the game. That's what you want. I don't think you could set it up any better. The non-con game that anybody wants is Duke in Madison Square Garden, and it looks like I was going to get that. So I guess for the Big Ten and any Hawkeyes fans that are listening, that's showing where Iowa is headed as a program.
I mean, Iowa's got some work to do. They've got pieces, but they've lost some too. So how are they going to do in filling that void? Definitely when you're looking at Keegan Murray and possibly his brother.
No, Chris Murray's returning.
They
did announce that,
good,
which is good because I don't think he was ready to get drafted.
I don't
either.
think so either. I think
maybe second round
run, but
yeah.
I mean, they're a long team. Are they going to add size? What are they going to add? You know what I mean? I don't think they had a really traditional point guard. I think the point guard that they had just really played great defense and just kind of tried not to make mistakes. So how they add and
Jordan
where they go
Bohannon's
from there.
gone finally. He's been there for 8
Ever.
years. Yeah, so that's good.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see. I just thought that was kind of an interesting note as well from college basketball and for the Big Ten. But the Big Ten's rather open, so we'll kind of see what happens there. And, you know, it's hard to also we know we've been saying about it, but again, Jeff Goodman, having Creighton there at number 4. At least there's going to be a pretty interesting game between Nebraska and Creighton this upcoming season, an opportunity for Nebraska once again. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, the Celtics taking game 1 last night. There were a lot of historic numbers in last night's game and a lot to dive into as a huge fourth quarter. Sparks the Celtics return there, but didn't have a good game from Jason Tatum. Is that good for the Celtics that they won despite him, or is that a bad sign? We'll kind of talk about what's going on with game 1 and heading into game 2 of the finals. That's coming up next year on The Block on 93.7 The Ticket.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators at $22.07 per hour and other select jobs starting at $23.77 per hour, with wages growing up to $29.71 per hour. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
In today's day and age, people are trying to do more and more projects by themselves. That might be better on the wallet, but it can also lead to painful sounds like this. Ow! Poor guy, trying to do wiring all by himself. Let's have another listen. It's just not worth it. Don't hurt yourself or make things worse than they are already. For any of your electric needs, call Joe at Ambition Electric today at 402-217-3415 or go to ambitionelectric.com.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit OakStreetCarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all. Oak Street Carpet. 1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Spring is here. Are you giving your yard the best chance at being healthy and green? Call Penner Sprinkler and Lawn to get your sprinklers ready to go for the season if they haven't been working properly. They're also scheduling installs for new sprinkler systems if you don't have one. So make sure you contact them early to get a bid as soon as possible. Plus, they're your one place to go for 5-step fertilizer and pesticide application and lawn aeration. Call Penner Sprinkler and Lawn today at 402-413-1215.
Adventure Golf Center is open for business with 2 mini golf courses and a 3rd course on its way within the month. Enjoy the current courses as well as the batting cages and a shaved ice food truck, and prepare for a new putting course completely uncommon in Nebraska and the Midwest with 18 holes of par 3s, 4s, and 5s, and a bar on the course. Oh yeah, Adventure Golf Center now sells alcohol too. Play the courses now and prepare to experience the new course within the month at Adventure Golf Center, 56 and Old Cheney.
Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealership, is searching for mechanics of all skill levels to grow with us. Landmark offers a competitive wage, full benefits package, along with paid time off within just 60 days of employment, as well as a 401k and a boot and clothing allowance. Interested in becoming a part of the Landmark difference? Apply now at landmarkimp.com/careers or contact Deanna 402-310-7561 or email careers@landmarkimp.com. That's landmarkimp.com. Landmark Implement is the equal opportunity employer.
Hey, batter, 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 wings, splatter, splatter, splatter. Catch all this season's baseball action at one of your neighborhood Lincoln locations. Get League of Their Own wings, burgers, nachos, and ringers while catching all the action. Stop into Wings and Rings located on O Street in Meridian Park and 40th and Old Cheney in Williamsburg Village. Or place your order online at wingsandrings.com. That's wingsandrings.com, Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Adventure Golf Center is open for business with 2 mini golf courses and a third course on its way within the month. Enjoy the current courses as well as the batting cages and a shaved ice food truck, and prepare for a new putting course completely uncommon in Nebraska and the Midwest with 18 holes of par 3s, 4s, and 5s, and a bar on the course. Oh yeah, Adventure Golf Center now sells alcohol too. Play the courses now and prepare to experience the new course within the month at Adventure Golf Center, 56 and Old Chain.
I grew up hearing that women are bad with money. But like many of you, I spent years paying bills, managing checking accounts, and taking care of my family. So turns out women are pretty good with money after all. And now I'm taking control of my financial future by saving for retirement. It's never too late to start, and there's a great website to help you. Check out WeSaySaveIt.org and jumpstart your retirement savings on your budget and your timeline. That's WeSaySaveIt.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Bach on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back here on the block, and it's time for Hitting the Hardwood, and it's always fun. I mean, we do this Hitting the Hardwood segment every day for basketball, and it's always, sometimes trying to find stories. It's not hard to find a story after Game 1 of the finals, where the Celtics take Game 1 on the road, really due to a great fourth quarter. I thought it was funny. Draymond said that they dominated the game for the first 3 quarters, whatever. Boston was up at the half. I know it was just 2 points, but I don't know about dominating. They had a good third quarter.
Sometimes he's delusional.
Yeah. Either case, the Celtics win 120-108 on Golden State's home court, thanks to 7 straight fourth quarter threes that helped them engineer a huge comeback. And they did this all despite Jason Tatum, their star player and first team All-Pro, not doing too well. So it's kind of interesting as we break this game down. What kind of stood out to you about Game 1 of the finals?
Listen. See, that's why you got to show up on the block. I know you got a lot of places that you can go. There's a lot of places you can listen to. There's all types of segments. But sometimes you'll hear some things from Stricky on the block that absolutely manifests and comes true. If you were a listener on the block, you would basically understand and say that Stricky said that. I said that the X factor of Game 1, I said 2 things. I said, first of all, Celtics need to handle business in this first game to establish basically it's kind of like when you kind of find yourself against an animal, you have to establish your not necessarily your manhood, but just basically, I ain't going nowhere. And sometimes even a bear will kind of just pause a little bit because they kind of like, wait a second now, hold on. So you got to do that, and they did that. And then I said that Al Horford is going to be an X factor, not only in this series, but in this first game, depending on the success that he has. Al Horford showed up and showed out.
Oh, yeah.
2 things happened in this game that were oxymorons. One, you saw a back and forth battle from the first 2 quarters. That was going to be a given. Just the adrenaline, just the excitement. But to have Jason Tatum go 3 for 17 in shooting and 1 for 5 from 3, had 13 assists though.
That's a lot.
13 assists though. So let's not get it twisted with only 2 turnovers when they've been the turnover central for some of the other series at 20 plus and all this stuff. So let's not get it twisted. He still had a solid game, and that's what's good when you need to win on the road. No matter how bad you're playing, there's a couple things that you can do. You can still lead, provide support. You can take care of the ball and make plays for others when you're not scoring, and you can play some doggone defense. They did that. And here's what the last one piece of that is that Golden State, normally when they win the third quarter, which they do a lot, that's the key on anybody's scouting report. And you can ask any of the others in the series. When they beat you in the third quarter, it's normally a wrap. When they beat you the way that they beat the Celtics in the third quarter in this game, which 38-24. That's a 14-point third quarter. We on top of you, jumped out on you when we're ahead by 2 points at half. So now the Celtics says they did the Dikembe Mutombo. They hit him with the no. That don't mean nothing, and came out and went bongo nuts with White and my big boy Al Horford going nuts from three. Big shots from White. Crucial times when Golden State was making runs. Bang, bang from Horford. And great defense. Got stops. Took care of business. Came out of game one with the victory in Golden State in the Bay.
Yeah, and it was like a game of runs. It was fun as the Celtics were. I mean, there was records broken on both sides. I suppose the Warriors and Celtics combined for 43s, I think, in that game, which is a finals record from the 35 the Cavs and Warriors had in the 2017 NBA Finals. Steph Curry started off hot, 6 of 8 from the 3-point line in the first quarter, and the Celtics The Celtics had some drop coverage on some switches that I don't know how you do that with the guy that literally changed the game of basketball. But they figured that out later, and obviously one of the best defensive teams historically. But in any case, they didn't start off too good, so they gave him some open shots. He made him pay for it as he had 6 threes. That's a new record as well for the finals, and his 21 points in the first quarter, is the most in a quarter in the finals since Jordan had 22 in 1993. So a lot of records in a very entertaining game. I saw that, and I like that because the playoffs haven't always been that way. There've been a lot of blowouts, people kind of complaining about it. But basketball Twitter certainly was enjoying the game last night, and it looked like the Warriors were about to run away from it before Boston took that fourth quarter by storm. Some people, and the Warriors certainly feel this way. They were outscored, by the way, 40-16.
Come on.
In the fourth quarter by the Boston Celtics. Warriors fans and some people would feel good to say that the Celtics are not going to do that again. That's the type of run that the Warriors used to kill people with KD. Is he just hit like 6 or 7 straight threes and go, okay, well, how are you supposed to compete with this? Maybe the Celtics won't do that again, but Tatum doesn't usually have too many of these shooting performances games. So yeah, there's a bit of a balance there. And we'll see if Jordan Poole can respond. Jordan Poole was almost invisible in that game.
But here's what's crazy, Bach. They had 30. So the rebound factor was wash, right?
Right.
Normally how Golden State's been killing the Dallases and the other is Golden State kills you with extra opportunities, offensive rebounds, kick out for threes. The second one, if they miss the first one, the second one is bang. Right? Mm-hmm. That's how they kill you. So they had those, especially in the first half. But here's what a unique change is. Golden State only had 24 assists. But what did Boston have, Bach?
Like you said,
33.
Tatum had 13 by himself. So.
33.
Yeah.
So they beat him in the now. So that's what we're talking about. You normally have with Golden State great ball movement. Everybody's cutting. Everybody's moving. Back doors. That dribble. So Boston defended the dribble handoff against the Golden State Warriors better than anybody I've actually seen. The way that they were able to get around, recover, and still challenge shots is what won them that game. Period.
Yeah. I think it's interesting too when we look at it because you usually think a little bit more rest might help. The game 7 that the Celtics had to play in back-to-back series, but they didn't look like that bothered them too much. I also kind of look at the road to the finals. The Celtics are very battle tested after having played the Nets, the Bucks, and the Heat. When you look back at the Warriors run, the beat up Nuggets, the Mavs, kind of one player dominant, and the Grizzlies. And of course, Grizzlies before the Mavs, but with John Morant going out and stuff, I just don't know if the Warriors are, as battle tested. And you have to remember the big three hadn't played together but 8 minutes in the regular season. So, when we talk about all this finals experience and benefiting the Warriors, and it certainly does, I think there's a lot of experience on the side of being battle tested. And of course, the Celtics, the other thing is that they've done this year in and year out. The Warriors had as well. They've been in the final 6 of the last 8 years, but 2 of those years they weren't in the playoffs at all. And of course, I've had some injuries to go along with that, but it just kind of dawned on me when looking at the road to the finals, how much more difficult it was for the Celtics, not in the fact that they had to play longer games or anything. It's just the quality of opponent. It's quite a grind. And when you look at it from afar, I suppose if the Celtics are able to do this, and there's no absolute monster or dominating team, I think in the league, but I think this will be one of the most impressive runs. And I said that at the beginning when they drew the Nets. It's like, man, this is going to be difficult. And it's just lined up about as difficult as it could be for them to earn a championship. The other thing that we should mention, too, is, and we haven't said his name enough, is Jaylen Brown. When Tatum's off and they need to go to a player to pick it up, Jaylen Brown has been that guy, and he's been a great guy in the fourth quarter. He got his first All-Star game last year, somewhat of an All-Star snub this year, depending on how you look at it. But you got to think, if he's given his own team, he'd be an all-star every year. I mean, he's kind of in that Bradley Beal situation where he was with John Wall. Obviously, they've elevated above that, getting to the finals and maybe potentially having a championship. But I think Jaylen Brown's gonna really benefit off this series. Certainly, if they win the championship, and kind of the grouping, I suppose, that he's seen with in the NBA. Because they don't win that game, I don't think, without him last night.
I have to agree. I think had Jaylen, but see, that's the thing that Boston just needs. They don't need both of them. Like, if both of them go nuts, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, if both of them go nuts and you get solid play from the rest of the group, especially on the defensive end, they win. Period. Each of them in that 20 to 30 range, and with solid basketball plays and not crazy turnovers. That, the turnovers for them is what makes them to lose. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you get that, you just need one of them to be solid and have one of your extras to show up, i.e. your Al Horford or your White.
Yeah.
Somebody, Marcus Smart.
Marcus Smart does it a lot, yeah.
You just need one of them others to show up and just have the normal balance that you have and play defense. Because, see, the thing that's different and unique about this team is that they can win a game under 100. I don't think Golden State can.
Yeah.
I don't think they still did a good job with Marcus Smart of punishing, like I talked about on the block, of punishing Steph.
Yeah.
I'm talking about putting him on that block. I'm talking about putting some elbows in his back. I'm talking about when rebounds go up, put some knees on him, put some body on him, and just wear him down. I still think they would, if they would implement that into the game plan, I think it would even help even more as you get later in the series. This early part of the series, they've had good rest, so they're going to be energized. They're going to come out this next game, and you could see a blowout. And I could also look at the be on the lookout. Watch who's reffing these games. Watch what type of calls happen, because I think this is, look, I don't want to say it's an X factor, and I'm not talking about your Al Horford X factor. I'm just saying you may want to just understand the business side of what's going. The NBA in no form or fashion wants a sweep.
Right.
With the way that the ratings, the way that everything is kind of bounced back with LeBron James on the sideline.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody's kind of getting engaged again. They're kind of interested. The series have been pretty good. Some new blood has kind of popped up out there with Memphis and Dallas and Luka doing the way. So they're starting to see some fresh new blood. So that's why I think they don't want this to end quick. Going two down, going back to Boston.
Yeah,
I just don't see it. And so you heard on the block, I think Golden State wins by 15.
There you go. Someone else was calling for a sweep on the text line, but I don't think they're going to do it. By the way, we love the sport on the text line, and shout out to Grace and Owen as they're listening to us too. So thanks to you guys to listen to us. I wanted to also mention the road record for Boston now, I think, is 8-2 in the playoffs. That's magnificent. As you look at that, if they get a win and you think, okay, if they get a win in game 2, this thing's over, you're going back to Boston getting a sweep. Maybe not so much. For one thing, before we get to that, is that I don't think Boston or Golden State has lost back-to-back games in this playoffs. So that's something that maybe expect Golden State to bounce back. But the other thing is Boston just has not done a great job of protecting home court as opposed to being road warriors. You know, their 8-2 record on the road is good, but only 5-4 at home, I believe, so far in this playoff. So it's kind of interesting to see that. And maybe it is, you know, did you ever feel less pressure sometimes on the road, or is there an element of that maybe going on for them?
I think it is less pressure on the road.
Yeah. Because you're not I mean, when you talk about a series, you're not expected to
you
win
have
those.
a goal.
Try to get one. Yeah.
Yes, you have a goal. So whether you win, lose, or get blown out, your goal is to go in there and get one and take care of home.
Yeah.
You don't want to give it back. If you take it, you don't want to give it back. So the goal for them is to get their one, take care of home, and then if you lose the other one, you come back home. You got to finish it there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're expecting to get one, take care of home, you win. That's the formula for winning series. So you don't want to go back to that's when the pressure kicks in. When you go on a game 7 and you hit the road. I mean, the Celtics have been pretty good at handling business on the road. They're battle tested and they're hard in that aspect. But yeah, I still wouldn't in a championship game. I think pressure can bust pipes if you get too much pressure too often.
Yeah. The other thing I did want to mention too is Draymond looked really bad offensively. Is there do you think, I mean, he's so valuable defensively, and I get that. But do you see maybe by the end of the series, if he stayed, I mean, it was sloppy the way he was playing. Do you see him maybe being taken out of the lineup a little bit, or he's one of their big three, so probably not, but I mean, it was just noticeable. I don't know if that was just a bad game or whatever, but it was not pretty. There was one series where he had like 3 shots and he kept getting the rebound. I mean, he's good. He's good. Yeah. But it was a bit of a mess.
I think Draymond he's going to do and be who he's going to be. He's not going to, if he's forced to take shots, he may make 1 or 2, but I think you'll be happy with whatever the result is on that. You just don't want him to cause you to lose your mental,
right?
To allow him to get into your head. You just stay focused and stay on point, and then you just can't allow him to win those battles. So them winning, because him being a part of winning those battles, they're getting those extra possessions and those threes normally fall. So just eliminating those aspects of him, and if you keep him out there as long as possible, then you can, in normal cases be okay, because he doesn't shoot free throws just particularly great. Yeah. He just does energy type stuff. He doesn't do anything particularly great other than defense and energy.
Yeah, and I thought it was kind of funny. He was flexing on Daniel Tice when he got an hand one. It was like his only bucket of the game. You're like, dude, Daniel Tice is like the 9th Celtic. That's kind of weird. But in any case, this is On the Block, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese, and we're about ready to do what we do every day, which is get some shots up ourselves. It's time for Shootout with Strick. Your chance to win $15 to Buffalo Wings and Rings. Give us a call right now, 402-464-5685. The first to do so will have a chance to win $15 to Buffalo Wings and Rings. Give us a call again right now. First one in line gets a chance at $15 to Buffalo Wings and Rings, 402-464-5685. We'll be right back on the block.
$93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your first alert weather forecast tonight, a slight chance of showers and storms overnight, lows right around 60. Showers and storms likely both Saturday and Sunday night, highs both days around 80. I'm MTV forecaster Kent Fountain for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Mike Schaefer here for Trek CBD. Springtime is here, and that means you're outside more in nice weather and maybe even having garage parties with neighbors. The drink of this spring and summer isn't your typical seltzer. It's drinkable Delta 8. Yep, Trek CBD has drinkable Delta 8 seltzers with mango and lime flavors for 4-packs and 12-packs, coming in a variety of mango, watermelon, lime, and berry. They also have hemp-derived Delta 9 syrups to put in your beverages, and as always, the excellent Delta 8 gummies. Trek CBD, CBD done right.
Honey, huh? What do you think? Well, why is there a huge prize wheel in the middle of my living room?
Well, we both love Wheel of Fortune so much, I thought I'd build us a home version of the game.
Who's gonna clean up this mess?
Well, let's spin the wheel and see.
If you want the ultimate Wheel of Fortune experience, enter the Nebraska Lottery's Wheel of Fortune Second Chance promotion. Through August 2nd, enter any non-winning $5 Wheel of Fortune scratch ticket for a chance to win one of 3 prizes. First, you could win a real wheel experience, which is a trip to LA, tickets to a taping of Wheel of Fortune, and a studio tour. Second, you can win the Take a Spin on the High Seas package, which is a Carnival cruise that includes onboard credit. Finally, you could win a spin in the City of Lights, which is a trip to Las Vegas that includes spending money.
Am I in trouble?
Let's spin the wheel and see.
Enter the Nebraska Lottery's Wheel of Fortune Second Chance promotion. Scratch ticket top prize odds 1 in 128,000.
Beatrice Bakery. They ship cakes all over the country. True story. But take a look inside their shop and you'd have no idea. This is a Nebraska product through and through. Not some massive production plant. Local people making delicious cake just for you. So go see them in their new storefront location in downtown Beatrice. Grab some grandma's fruit cake, some chocolate rum cake, or my favorite, the turtle nut cake. And say hi to Rick and the crew. Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Bagels and Joe is in full summer mode. They'll add cold foam to the top of any iced coffee. Plus, they now have a Joe Coffee Club. Get unlimited drip coffee for just $8.95 per month. And don't forget their delicious breakfast burritos and sandwiches. Bagels and Joe, 4 Lincoln locations.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Welcome to Heartland Flats Beatrice, your home for modern Midwest living. Our finely crafted apartments boast spacious 1 and 2 bedroom floor plans with incredible amenities, including stainless steel appliances, luxury vinyl flooring, modern electronic locks, and are pet friendly. Each apartment has its own in-unit washer and dryer, and our innovative utility bundling saves you money. Call 402-251-3020 to schedule your showing today. That's 402-251-3020. Heartland Flats Beatrice, modern Midwest living.
Springtime is here, and it's time to get to work on outdoor projects. Deck City is a great place to start as Lincoln's local source for everything decks. Deck City has everything you need to build the deck of your dreams. From treated lumber to Westbury aluminum railings and TimberTech composite decking. Call them today to schedule an appointment at 402-480-6671. Go online at deckcityne.com or visit their new location just north of 33rd and Cornhusker Highway.
Get a lot of advice about self-care these days, but one of the most important self-care steps we can take is making sure we're financially secure later in life. For small steps you can take to save for retirement, visit WeSaySaveIt.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
From selling a home to even building one, you're doing a lot and need a lender who can help you do it. Like Kelsey Fluhop of Security First Bank.
As a mortgage loan officer, I value my customers and work to make the mortgage process easy and even rewarding.
Mortgage lending from Security First Bank. We're the bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 505011 and 1730635.
It's time to play Shootout with Strick. Call now, 464-5685, to take your shot against Eric Strickland. Shootout with Strick. Brought to you by Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Time to play the game!
We are rocking our heads in studio as we're ready for the final shootout with Strick of the week. It is a Friday, and it is time for your chance to win $15 to Buffalo Wings and Rings. Only Strick stands in your way, though. If you haven't called in yet, unfortunately, we already have. Unfortunately for you, I should say, but fortunately for Bob, he's already got in line. So you'll be cheering for Strick because the Strick wins, and caller number 3 gets the chicken. So, Bob, how are you doing? And how much do you know about the year 2015? That's our trivia is revolved around that year today.
I'm doing well. In 2015, that's about the year I graduated high school, so we'll see.
There we go. Yeah, that's a good time to be kind of culturally aware of things that are going on at that time. So Bob, hang on real quick. We're gonna get Strick score first, and then you'll know what you have to reach to get the win and the chicken today. Strick, are you ready to go?
Okay, I guess.
Well, don't be too excited. Try to get a win here, Strick. All right, we'll go in 3, 2, and 1. The Legion of Boom beats who in the NFC Championship? Packers or Bears?
Packers.
It is the Packers. He uploads his debut song White Iverson to SoundCloud. Is it Post Malone or Chance the Rapper?
Post Malone.
It is Post Malone. Led by Pat Connaughton, this team wins their first and only ACC basketball championship. Clemson or Notre Dame?
Notre Dame.
That is correct. The golfer leads the Masters wire to wire for his first ever major title. Jordan Spieth or Dustin Johnson?
Dustin Johnson.
It's actually Spieth. And J.J. Watt shares the Pro Bowl MVP with this Lions quarterback.
Aaron Rodgers.
It is actually Matt Stafford. Got the nod there. So you are 3 points.
I knew it was Spieth. Go with your first mind, Strick.
Yeah, you were on a roll. You got your first 3. I thought you might go for all points there, but you give a chance. You left it open for Bob for an opportunity here. Bob, are you ready to go? You need 3 points to tie, 4 for the win.
Yep, I'm ready.
All right, we'll go in 3, 2, and 1. This Warrior guard scores the most points in a quarter at 37. Klay Thompson or Steph Curry?
Klay Thompson.
That's correct. He wins the Brit Award for Best Single Title, Uptown Funk. Chris Brown or Bruno Mars?
Bruno Mars.
That's correct. This horse becomes the first Triple Crown winner since 1978. American Pharoah or Camelot?
American.
That is correct. Netflix announces Olsen twins will not appear on the TV show's revival. Saved by the Bell or Full House?
Full House.
That is correct. This team runs a questionable passing play to lose the Super Bowl to the Patriots. Who is it?
Seahawks.
It is the Seahawks. You
Oh
got it before the
my
buzzer. You
God.
got all the points there. You didn't even need that, but you're just scoring late, even though the clock's running now. But in any case, perfect game from you, Bob. So congratulations. You get the win, and you get your much deserved shout outs here.
Boom shakalaka! Give me a hell yeah! I said, give me a hell yeah!
Oh, yeah.
There you go, Bob. You get the opportunity if you want to talk trash to Strick if you want to. You did double up his points, or you can take the high road.
I'll take the high road.
All
Thank
right.
you guys.
There you go. There's some good sportsmanship before we're done there. Nate, you got anything?
Yeah,
Brad?
sometimes I'll say that it might be a little bit rigged in the listener's favor. That was just impressive.
That was
Those were
impressive.
some tough questions.
That was
That
impressive.
was.
He went nuts today.
What did we bounce around?
He was like Al Horford and
Derek
the whole,
White there.
Yeah, Derek
Yeah.
White. He was like on fire.
What do we give him? A basketball, a music, a horse racing, television, and football questions.
yeah.
So bounced around quite a bit. Bob was ready and very much paying attention in 2015. Let's go to the tiebreaker, even though Bob's now just collecting his chicken. But this one's just for you, Strick. The Dodgers would finish the season with the largest payroll in Major League Baseball history. In millions, how much was their payroll during the 2015 season? Oh, my goodness.
$328 million.
Pretty darn close to it. $298 million worth of payroll for the Dodgers. And of course, they would later win the World Series with them with a big payroll. But they've been carrying that for quite some time now. I kind of do you cheer against the big payroll teams in Major League Baseball? There's no salary cap. The Yankees have long been, one of those teams. Dodgers, Red Sox, Cubs kind of get into it.
Listen, I that gives them a tremendous advantage.
Yes, it does.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
often one player has more money than like the
whole
entire
budgets,
yeah
of some of the
Rays
other
or Marlins
teams.
or something. Yeah.
It's crazy. And normally you would see those other teams do a good job in their development, but then what they're doing now is they're selling off.
Sell the farm.
They're good.
Yeah.
They're farm guys. I mean, it's like everybody's poaching them, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like they don't really develop their guys either. So it's a crazy dynamic right now.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because those teams don't have as much success as you would think on a year in year out basis. Sometimes like the lower payroll teams win, but they are always there. You know what I mean? Like even the Red Sox and Cubs are struggling now. So, it's not foolproof or anything. But generally, like throughout 10 years, the Dodgers and Yankees and Red Sox and Cubs are all going to be competitive.
Yeah.
And then like the smaller market teams just kind of go in their waves. We certainly saw that with the Royals here in the Midwest, where they had their wave of talent, and now they're kind of back trying to get that going again. So it's kind of interesting to watch Major League Baseball and then no salary cap. And it's also kind of interesting how that translates to college football in this NIL world where everybody's worried about the haves and the have-nots and how much of these other teams are going to take over. It's like, well, it's not like we haven't seen, no salary cap before. We have an experiment. We have something to go off of to kind of know how it goes. So maybe that's something that can play into it. I know people aren't as comfortable with that going to the college level, but NIL's here, and
It's there and I don't know if it's going. It may get monitored a little bit, but I don't know if it's going anywhere, to be honest.
Yeah, I want to talk about it too. We're going to bring in, it's time for the block party. So we're going to bring in the guys from Sunday Rewind, Tom Stevens and Mike Melby. We'll have plenty to talk about. But I do want to talk about, open up with some of that NIL stuff, because the other day, Ryan Day, of course, the head coach at Ohio State, was talking about how he's estimating about $13 million to keep his roster together. And he even had a guess for like position players and which position is going to get, how much money. So I'll let you guys know what that is. Also, I thought they kind of had Ryan Day also had a speed limit. He was talking about speed limits as comparing to the NIL and try not to get in trouble with your speed limits. So I kind of want to know where you guys land on that as well. So we'll get to that next year. It's time for the block party next on the block on a Friday on 93.7 The Ticket.
Hey, sports fans. Rico here with HIS Auto Care 70th and Van Dorn. Carfax recently awarded us as a top-rated auto service center for 2020, and Lincoln Choice Awards voted us as the 2021 top independent auto repair center. Call us at 402-488-8934 for superior service bumper to bumper. Mention this ad and get 7% off. Doesn't get any better than that. Rico for his Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
This is Dan Friedman. Between 2010 and 2019, distracted driving caused more than 40,000 car crashes in Nebraska, resulting in over 14,000 severe injuries and deaths. Please keep your eyes on the road. If you have a smartphone, put it away while you're behind the wheel. It will help keep our community safe and secure. This message is brought to you by Friedman Law Offices, helping injured people. It's what we do. It's all we do. Find us at friedmanlaw.com today.
Mike Schaefer here for Trek CBD. Springtime is here, and that means you're outside more in nice weather and maybe even having garage parties with neighbors. The drink of this spring and summer isn't your typical seltzer. It's drinkable Delta 8. Yep, Trek CBD has drinkable Delta 8 seltzers with mango and lime flavors for 4-packs and 12-packs, coming in a variety of mango, watermelon, lime, and berry. They also have hemp-derived Delta 9 syrups to put in your beverages, and as always, the excellent Delta 8 gummies. Trek CBD, CBD done right.
Are you sick of mindlessly running on a treadmill or the lack of motivation to consistently work out? Whatever your challenge, Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping can help. Whether you want to lose weight, boost energy, or simply improve your overall health, you'll fit right in at Farrell's regardless of age or abilities. Build endurance with their kickboxing and strength training group fitness classes while also getting nutrition coaching. Try Farrell's now for a free week. Visit fxblincoln.com or call Jeff at 402-310-4026. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping.
There's not many things worse than having plumbing issues at your home or business, but it's even worse if the problem isn't fixed correctly. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time, and they specialize in several things: general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197. Hey guys, it's Jake Sorensen. Meat is the absolute best Father's Day gift ever. And here's a little gift-giving wisdom from Omaha Steaks. Dads do indeed want steaks. And with Father's Day around the corner, there is not a better gift than Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com and type Jake in the search bar and order the Dads Want Steaks package. For just $99, this limited time package includes 16 mouth-watering entrees he's guaranteed to love, like smoky, tender bacon wrap filet mignons, gourmet jumbo franks, and their air-chilled boneless chicken breast. And for a sweet finish, delicious caramel apple tartlets. As a special gift for my listeners, when you type Jake in the search bar and order the Dad's Want Steaks package, you'll also get 8 free Omaha Steaks burgers. Don't wait. Go to omahasteaks.com and type Jake into the search bar and order the Dad's Want Steaks package. You'll get 16 entrees and 4 desserts plus 8 free Omaha Steaks burgers. That's omahasteaks.com. Keyword Jake.
Welcome to Heartland Flats Beatrice, your home for modern Midwest living. Our finely crafted apartments boast spacious 1 and 2 bedroom floor plans with incredible amenities, including stainless steel appliances, luxury vinyl flooring, modern electronic locks, and are pet friendly. Each apartment has its own in-unit washer and dryer, and our innovative utility bundling saves you money. Call 402-251-3020 to schedule your showing today. That's 402-251-3020. Heartland Flats Beatrice, modern Midwest living.
We stand on the shoulders of women who came before us.
Women who fought for their own financial futures.
And now it's our turn.
Join us. Visit WeSaySaveIt.org and take control of your financial future by saving for retirement.
A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is On the Block with Strick and Bach. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for 3! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
93.7 The Ticket veteran and Creed stan, Jake Bakoven.
I love that band, Creed.
Coming at you live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This is On the Block with Strick and Bach. Hold up.
We are back here on the block on 93.7 The Ticket. I thought my mic was off there. That's why I repeated myself. But it's on, and we're ready to roll here.
No, you're on.
Yeah, I'm on. But at least I didn't swear, thinking that I wasn't on quite yet.
Have you ever done that? Have you ever sworn on the radio?
No, but I did play
happened?
Bo Pelini swearing once, and I thought I'd be fired afterwards.
I did swear. Did I ever tell you that story?
When
we were on together, in college, I went to, remember back in the day of carts, where you'd play the cart and as it was, the news guy had finished up his segment of Back with the Weather right after this, whatever it was. I mean, freshman year of college.
Yeah.
And I shoved in the cart and it wouldn't fire, and then took it out, shoved it in again. I got really mad, and then shoved it in again. I go, bleep, bleep. I mean, it was bad.
A few different
and I had turned off my mic. I had turned it off, but the news guy had not.
Oh, yeah.
And it was plain as day. And Dr. Walkland, who I don't know, he might still be there. He walked all the way from his office at Avery Hall, like way.
Heard it.
Yeah. It was a few hundred yards away. And he just stood in front of this doorway and said, if you wouldn't use that kind of language in your daily conversation, you wouldn't use it on the air.
That's right.
And I went bleep, 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 bleep. It was really, really bad.
But they brought you back for your next shift?
Yeah, they gave me a degree for some reason, even after that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
That voice you hear is Tom Stevens. Mike Melby also in here from Sunday Rewind. It is time for the block party here on Friday. We're going to try to do this regular, have our block party going, and we've even got some music here for it. Melby requested this one here. This is what he thinks of when he gets to do a block party.
You take requests?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I like Pitbull.
Yeah, this is a request. Yeah, Pitbull's the one to get people going. Who can deny that?
Stop the party.
I think Pitbull's coming to Omaha at least pretty soon.
Why not Lincoln? Snoop came.
Yeah, Snoop. Yeah, Pitbull.
Yeah,
why not Lincoln?
Let's get best concert you guys have ever seen.
Yeah.
No.
Which one?
No, which one?
Which one?
Yeah, best concert.
You hung out with Snoop, right? But you didn't go to his
Oh,
concert.
that wasn't the best.
did.
You hung out with Snoop at the concert?
Not at the concert.
We
At
were
a
backstage at the concert, but I would have to. Okay, so it's going to be unique and different. There's a woman by the name of Rochelle Farrell, and she's so melodic.
Yeah.
And she can hold her notes for like minutes. So when she sings a note, she can hold it. And
You dated her, didn't you?
No, no. I went, but it was like in this very acoustic kind of atmosphere.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was it gave me chills.
Yeah.
So it's not like your typical,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
Crazy.
type
I know
of,
what you mean.
You know, concert.
That's
but
interesting
it
because
was me
I
for me.
agree with you. I've had concerts that I would say, and like the name recognition would be better. But what struck me more is like the person that just blows you away with how good they are live, like vocally or even whatever they're playing. That's the best person I ever saw like musically was Ben Harper, and I wouldn't put him near the top of my like list of great concerts or like I didn't even go to that concert for him, but it was just like, wow, that guy could sing.
Okay, so metalhead at heart, who will go to the closest Five Finger Death Punch show this summer, and I grew up on Slayer and Metallica.
There you go.
Best show I ever saw, just overall show entertainment value, The Works, was at the Zoo Bar, and it was right before COVID hit, and it was a guy by the name of Lil Ed and his band, the Blues Imperials.
Yeah.
Unbelievable show. Great vocally. The songs, I started then listening on Spotify to some of the songs.
Oh yeah.
The music and the words to them, I mean, it's old school blues, but are just fantastic and phenomenal. Now, best vocalists I ever saw, two of them, Kelly Clarkson and Lizzie Hale from Hailstorm.
Oh yeah, I just saw Hailstorm.
Yep. Best concert ever, though. 1987 in January. I was probably not quite 21, and it was at the Royal Grove. I don't know how I got
Nice.
in.
Wow.
You snuck in?
No, Cheap Trick.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Yeah.
They played 2.5 hours.
Oh, my goodness.
I was a huge Cheap Trick fan, still am. And they played for 2.5 hours, and I was so blown away.
You know what I've liked to have seen is Def Leppard.
Oh, they're amazing.
Yeah.
I would have.
They're amazing.
I would have loved to have seen that one, but
they just released a new album. They'll have a tour this summer.
Yeah.
One-armed drummer, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Rick Allen. One-armed drummer.
I would have just been staring at him and amazed at just the talent of being able to do that.
I think they played the Vandy Center in the 80s, and there was a big controversy because somebody did something that was probably illegal. And
It was the weight limit of their sound equipment and light equipment was the big controversy.
Oh, yeah.
Or at least that was one of them.
one of the many
may have
things
been
that they
another.
did that was illegal.
What was yours? We know Tom.
Was
you
it
saw
some
Tom
Snoop Dogg
Petty,
action?
And it would probably be, I mean, it's a boring answer. I'm not even a fan. Springsteen, 1985,
Really?
Born in the USA tour.
Oh.
I remember this was way before Ticketmaster. You actually had to wait in line to get tickets.
Oh yeah.
At the ticket counter, and we were like within the first five people, so we got inside of hard to remember, Student Union. It was right outside the Student Union, and we were waiting. Probably we were 11th row, 10th, 11th row, something like that.
Yeah.
But there were tents all over campus at UNL waiting for Springsteen tickets.
Not just students.
And no, not just students.
I wouldn't think so.
I mean,
if you didn't get in,
he played for.
How would you like to move that? That's a shifty program. You know,
Yeah.
as the line
That's right.
moves, you just keep moving.
That's
it
right.
down.
That's right. Move on down the road, buddy. He played for 3 hours. I mean, it was incredible. It was a great show.
When Bad Company canceled because Paul Rogers was sick and the Foo Fighters played, they played like a 3-hour show.
Yeah.
Well, you know who they said was phenomenal when I was just going into high school, I would say, maybe still in junior high. They said the Beastie Boys had the License to Ill tour. Everybody that went to that came to school just kind of irked me.
Raved about it.
Because they were just like, that was the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard the Beasties.
They say they put on an amazing show.
Yeah.
There's all types of lights and all kinds of stuff going on, and it's just real rowdy. So it gives you the feel of rock with hip hop, and it kind of molds together. So it's they say it's a wonderful just.
I saw them
atmosphere.
in like 2008 in Milwaukee, but it was.
Did you take your
they're
shirt
a little
off?
bit older.
You
No,
take your
I
shirt
didn't.
off
But
and
there was
run around?
there was weird people dancing around in weird ways. I think other people did that for us. Let us know what you guys think on the Start Name and Text line 402-464-5685. The best concert you've ever been to, because we've got a few responses already here. Depressed Tim Miles fan, who seems to be pretty depressed right now, says Lizzie Hale is no Amy Lee, but she's good. Going back to Hailstorm. So.
I will, you know what? I'll give props there. That's probably a mistake on my part to not put Amy Lee in the best vocalist I've ever seen. Saw her down at an amphitheater a couple of years ago.
Nice,
Just
yeah.
amazing.
I would like to see that.
I would like to see Stevie Nicks.
Oh yeah, that'd be another
Huh?
good one.
I think Stevie Nicks is dope.
Yeah, I would love to see Stevie Nicks.
She's
She's still alive? She's still alive.
yeah,
right?
yeah. I
She's
believe
not
so.
dead.
I would know. Well,
Well,
I don't
you know,
think so.
a lot of the people of that era are.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah,
Do you guys know Emerson Lake in Palmer?
Oh, yeah.
Does that
Oh, yeah.
music
Yep.
hall? Augie said.
Yeah, it used to be Emerson, Lake Palmer, and Young.
Oh, okay.
'Cause
Well,
Neil Young was in the band too.
I guess not. I guess not Neil Young.
Yes,
in that
thank you.
case.
We're old.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
you go.
we're
Well, I learned
really
something
old.
today. Ellison, Illinois. So I just saw Eric Church last week in Milwaukee.
You saw me?
Outstanding show. Eric
Oh,
Church.
Church.
Eric in church. He just saw you in church
yeah.
last
He was
Sunday.
just in Lincoln not too long ago, maybe a month ago, Eric Church.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan, so I'm not really sure. We got Red Hot Chili Peppers. Someone says Beastie Boys. U2 in 1987 at Joshua Tree. That'd be kind of interesting.
Saw the Chili Peppers at a place called the Drumstick in Lincoln back in the 80s.
Oh, there you go. The drumstick sounds
the
nice.
Chili Peppers were great.
I saw Pantera at the Ranch Bowl.
Um,
That was insane.
That'd be wild.
It was insane.
Insane.
Yeah.
In the membrane.
ST was not there.
You know, there's
Suicidal
a lot in the
Tendencies
air
was
for
not
that
there,
one.
but
Yeah.
There's a lot
there
of
was.
insane in the membrane one. There's a lot
there
of
was.
Snoop Dogg in the air.
Yeah,
for that one.
exactly.
We've got Pearl Jam, which I saw Pearl Jam. That was pretty cool when they came to
Yeah.
Lincoln. Pink Floyd in 1994.
How, has anybody heard about Toto like in concert? Like
They never toured. They were studio
That's-
musicians.
I don't understand that.
They were studio musicians. I don't think Toto ever toured.
That's crazy. I love
Yeah.
their music.
Hold the line.
Africa.
Africa.
I was
There
gonna
you
say I
go.
knew that was coming.
Oh, I love Africa.
Yeah. Yeah.
I bless the rain down in
Sing it, Strick.
Africa. I love that song. That's one of my favorites. I'm a big 80s guy, man.
Yeah.
I was raised in the MTV generation. Like,
Oh yeah.
where, I want my MTV. Yeah, I was in that generation.
Yeah, I
baby.
offended you when I told you I'm not a big fan of the 80s
You
in
hurt
general.
my feelings. I
Yeah.
almost kicked you off the block.
Right.
I like college football in the 80s, but styles and yeah, I'm just not a big
Is
fan.
there anything about college football that you
No,
don't
because
like?
Well,
had-
that's true. Yeah,
because
that's
he was out of the time and he
Right.
still had the mullet. So he was in the 2000s with the mullet
Yeah.
and he missed the 80s. So he was
Yeah.
mad because he got teased in the
Right.
2000s because he had the mullet.
See, I had the mullet in the 80s and 90s. That's the way it was
There you
supposed
go.
to work.
Yeah,
I've got
You were,
mullet
you were
pictures.
late. You were late, Bob.
We should have a mullet some Friday. Who had the best mullet? I mean,
Yeah,
we've
we
all
all-
got
yeah.
pictures.
Yeah.
I've got my pictures. Just we'd have the listeners.
Mullet
vote.
Mondays.
there you go.
Mike's still got the long hair.
Oh yeah,
He-
you could do the mold
now,
today.
now it's all long. though.
Yeah.
Back then it was not. I was business in front and party in the back.
Did anybody have the chopstick beards?
Oh yeah, like yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
choppers. The big Fu Manchu.
I was never
Or the
able to
mutton
grow a
chops
beard
back in the
until like 3
70s.
days ago. I mean,
I know you, Mike, had it.
I cannot confirm nor deny.
Now I heard mullets, and I had a pretty nice mullet.
I
back
bet
then.
Yeah,
you
he's got
did.
a
I
good
will
picture.
tell
I
you.
bet you
I've got
did.
pictures of it. I had it down to my shoulders. It was pretty nice.
we got to have a competition. I mean,
Mullet Mondays.
yeah, mullet Mondays.
I think I would be part of that competition.
Wow.
I
The
was
chicks
more,
dig it.
I was more the bowl cut guy in the 90s. Bowl
It's a
cuts were
freaking
cool
block
in the
party.
90s.
It's a block party today.
You know, Bach
It's hilarious.
cuts his own hair.
Yeah, that's right. I'm a skilled, only my own. I wouldn't cut anybody
Stop
else's
it.
hair.
Remember the Floby? He's got a Floby. at
I
home.
used to cut mine, but that was just because I was cheap, and I had I would literally have like the bowl cut.
You had some
Yeah.
cool designs in your hair when you played.
When I played, I was.
Yeah.
That's probably why I lost my hair. 'Cause I had cuts all that. That's probably why I went bye.
More responses off the text line. Dusty says Elvis would be cool, but maybe you didn't get to see him.
Wasn't Lincoln one of Elvis's final shows?
Yeah,
Was it
Persian.
really?
At Pershing Auditorium. It was one of the
Wow.
final
Who-
shows he did before he died.
Who sings? I want to say it's Linkin Park, or I'm trying to get it in my head. It's stuck in my head, but they're really like, I don't think it's Linkin Park. Oh man,
So their lead singer just passed away not too long ago. So
Yeah,
we don't
Chester.
get him anymore. Yeah.
I forgot how that song goes, but it's
If you could sing it, Melby, I guarantee will know it.
More than likely.
Yeah.
they were really good for a period, man. They had a little run. I just cannot. It's in my head. And
It'll
I
come
freaking
out.
hate that. Go ahead.
Eric asked, "Did anyone have a rat tail? Anybody ever have a rat tail?"
Okay.
I had the
This
S
was-
curl.
Not
Oh,
my
nice.
choice, but I did right after when the mullet got cut. The middle stayed like an inch wide for like 4 days before
Right.
I accidentally cut it off, and because I was like, "Yeah, no, this is not good."
Yeah, it took like literally a second to cut off a rat tail.
Yep.
Ellis says he once got his nose broken in a huge brawl at the Starship concert in the 80s. So
Mosh pit?
it sounds like it.
At the Starship concert.
Yeah.
I introduced Cantor, Paul Cantor, one time at the State Fair. You know, as bands get older, they move from like the PBA 20,000 to, you know, a
State
Pershing
Fair.
side at 5,000. And then eventually they get to the State Fair where there's 3 people there. I introduced Paul Cantor at the State Fair. That's my claim to fame.
Nice.
Of Starship.
Nice.
We got
I
AC/DC.
didn't get a party with him like Snoop Dogg. You know,
Oh, yeah.
like,
You
I
never
don't,
party with
they
anybody.
never asked me to
Then
party.
you did party with, or
would've
not
went to
party,
sleep.
but didn't you go backstage with somebody pretty prominent?
Yeah, back in the day
Gwen
when
Stefani? Was it?
Gwen Stefani, I drove her around.
Yeah, yeah. There
What
you
about
go.
MC Hammer?
I heard he's not one to mess with.
He's too legit. to
He's a
quit.
real gangster.
That's right.
He's too legit.
I love
legit
the
to
Hammer
quit.
commercials where he's sitting on the curb, the Geico commercials, you know, 15 minutes
Yeah.
of fame, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It only takes 15 minutes. And there's, you know, Hammer, they're taking all of his stuff out of his house.
I got a question for you guys. What is the best sports commercial that you've seen over the years?
Best sports commercial.
A newer one with Jerome Bettis and Bradshaw, and they were headed to the playoffs or something. And Bradshaw is sitting strapped to the roof of the bus, and he's singing "Good for You" from Olivia Rodrigo. That was I can't remember.
Nice,
That was
yeah.
for like college football playoff. That one was one of
That
the
was good
better
for you?
ones because Bradshaw he sings horribly so well.
Yeah.
It was awesome. But I think back to the old Miller Lite commercials.
Yeah.
where
Spuds
they're-
McKenzie?
Where no, where that's,
Nice.
that's,
Oh, that's
Bud-
Budweiser.
That's Bud Light.
Yeah. He
But
was
where they're
dope. Spuds was dope.
where they would have like the rules, like no fruit and beer.
Yeah.
And it was all famous athletes talking about, you know, why Miller Lite is what you should
Oh,
drink.
okay. Dope.
So
All right.
that would be one that it sticks with me now 25 years later.
The Bird Magic.
I knew he was going to say
right,
that.
That's the
That was
best.
dope.
That's for me. That's the best.
Is that
of
a
all time.
McDonald's commercial?
Yeah, it was a McDonald's
I think
commercial,
so,
right?
yeah.
They start out playing Simple Horse, and then they're in the the balcony, and they're off
Yeah.
the grandstand, side of the rim, in nothing but net, that type of thing.
Like that
Yeah.
one.
Off
Yeah.
the text line, Mean Joe Green. That's a pretty.
Where he
popular
throws
one.
him the
Yeah.
jersey?
The jersey,
Yeah, that's not
nice.
a bad one. I can't think of necessarily a sports
You
commercial.
want,
that
well,
stands
while
out.
you're thinking, let me
Yeah.
tell you. Little Penny.
Oh, Little Penny.
I
that's
thought
right.
freaking
With
Little
Mars,
Penny.
with Mars.
I thought Little Penny was the
Those were the best.
freaking every one of them. I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't just like one. Every time he showed up, I was rolling. I was dying.
How about the MJ with Mars too? Remember Mars Blackman?
Yeah, Mars Blackman was solid.
Yeah.
Spike. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought
That
those were
Little
solid.
Penny was great
But
though.
I just could not help but Little Penny just had me rolling. Just the little Chris Rock just really did, because his voice is so high pitched, and I can't even imitate it. So I just thought it was dope.
I'm surprised you guys didn't bring up the Bo Nose commercials. Wasn't that right
Bo
around
Nose.
your guys'
Oh, yeah.
time?
Yeah.
The Bo Nose?
Yeah.
Bo don't know diddly at the end of it.
Yeah.
Bo diddly.
Yeah, with the guitar.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
That was good. Text line, tell us about it. 402-464-5685. Who is your best sports commercial? I don't know. Bach is goofy. He's not on the block today.
I loved they weren't really commercials, they were promos, the Sports Center stuff.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Those
my.
are always.
Oh,
fun.
you're talking about
Yeah.
like when you have the mascots in the place.
Or the
you
Manning
have
brothers.
Yeah,
Or
those
remember,
are good.
remember the Lance Armstrong one where he's pedaling in the basement and Dan Patrick loses the lights? Like he's doing a
Yeah,
Sports
those
Center
are
and the
good.
lights
They're
go out and
good.
he goes all the way to the basement. He goes, Lance, what's up? And he'll get sorry. And then he starts pedaling.
Those are creative. I
Yeah.
think you're right, man. Those
Yeah.
are creative.
I like that John Clayton one where he's like yelling at his mom by the end of the commercial because he just puts on a suit for the top and phones
Yeah.
the Sports Center.
Mom, I'm doing my commercial.
yeah.
He just passed on, didn't he?
He did.
He
yeah, I
just
think
passed
so.
on.
Wasn't there one with Roger Clemens where he like threw one of the anchors?
That's right. They were arguing about how fast his fastball was.
I
And
didn't see that one.
I can't remember, was it Kenny Mayne or something? No, that I don't buy it. He's not throwing.
it had
And then
to
he
be
picks
Kenny
him up
Mayne.
and throws him through the door.
Now,
at 95.
what era for you guys was where you felt was the best Super Bowl commercial? Like, they've gotten terrible now.
Yeah.
Like, I just think they're weak and whack. But I think there was an era where they were so great at creativity. I think I would have to say maybe the late 80s, early 90s for me. It just seemed like those Super Bowl commercials. It was like a competition of great creativity where you at least got it when they were. Some of them now I'm just like.
They get a lot of celebrities these days, but they don't seem to put much into it.
When Doritos got into it and they had the Doritos fans basically come up with their own commercials for Doritos, some of them still are today. The one where it's the guy, the little kid gets the guy in the yard to give him his bag of Doritos, and he goes into his time machine, and the kid starts shaking it, and the guy comes out, and the old man is like, "Get out of my yard!" And he's like, "Timmy, it worked!" Like, that's one of the best commercials ever.
Going back to sports commercials, I was curious if you guys remember the "Why You Should Draft Me in Fantasy Football," and it's like Mike Vick, and he throws it over the stadium, and it's when I don't remember who was receiving it, but they'd catch like 3 balls at a time. That's why you draft me in fantasy football. It was like a brief window. It was like a 2-year stretch that they played them. They're really cool.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, somebody
really
off
cool.
the text line says Terry Tate, office linebacker. I think that was
that was great. That was great.
Well, I think those ones also just recently, the ones where it was like they were in a wedding or something and it was very boring and the music was playing, and then all of a sudden, I'm talking about all the stars, Marshawn Lynch.
It's like a nice wedding party.
And somebody fumbles something. I don't know if it was the ball, and everybody starts going for the fumble. And then they're throwing it and they're catching it and they're getting tackled and they're taking out the cake. I thought that was dope. Yeah. I like that.
Yep.
When I think of Super Bowl commercials, I don't know, maybe it's just how young I was, but I always think about those frogs. I was like, bud,
right?
Why?
Yeah.
Or was the really awful one was the what's up? What's up?
What's up?
And then everybody did that for the early 2000s for the next 5 years.
They brought that back.
You were calling people.
That was me. Absolutely.
Was
oh yeah.
If you got a call on the text line, you already know it was Nate Dogg. That was the one that was calling everybody's phone.
Absolutely. Yes. That was my time.
Yeah, certainly. Let's take a quick break here. We are on the ticket, or actually on the block here. It's the block party here on the ticket. And I don't know what we're going to talk about next. I didn't plan for what we just talked about there. But either way, we'll have fun. It's a Friday. We're going into the weekend. Stay tuned. The block party coming up next year on the block.
Spring is here. Are you giving your yard the best chance at being healthy and green? Call Penner Sprinkler and Lawn to get your sprinklers ready to go for the season if they haven't been working properly. They're also scheduling installs for new sprinkler systems if you don't have one. So make sure you contact them early to get a bid as soon as possible. Plus, they're your one place to go for 5-step fertilizer and pesticide application and lawn aeration. Call Penner Sprinkler and Lawn today at 402-413-1215.
The days of internet contracts and heavy fine print are over. It's time to experience hassle-free service with no contracts or hidden fees. That's the Allo promise. Allo Communications provides fiber internet, TV, and phone services with fair and no-nonsense pricing. All backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, 24/7 local support 365 days a year, and a monthly bill you can count on. Don't settle for gimmicks. Settle for hassle-free with Allo. Visit us at allofiber.com/hassle-free.
Brown Shoe Fit is gearing up for spring with new inventory on the way. They're stocking up on new spring sandals and athletic shoes daily in brands like Brooks, Hoka, Keen, Merrell, On, and many, many more. Browns has the local professionals to get the proper fit, aided by their high-tech foot scanner by Atrax. Spring is the season to be active and busy. Don't let your feet lose their support with old rundown shoes or sandals. Stop by Brown's Shoe Fit today, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL Weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your first alert weather forecast tonight, a slight chance of showers and storms overnight, lows right around 60. Showers and storms likely both Saturday and Sunday night, highs both days around 80. I'm MTV forecaster Kent Fountain for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
There's not many things worse than having plumbing issues at your home or business, but it's even worse if the problem isn't fixed correctly. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time, and they specialize in several things: general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Beatrice Bakery. They ship cakes all over the country. True story. But take a look inside their shop and you'd have no idea. This is a Nebraska product through and through. Not some massive production plant. Local people making delicious cake just for you. So go see them in their new storefront location in downtown Beatrice. Grab some grandma's fruit cake, some chocolate rum cake, or my favorite, the turtle nut cake. And say hi to Rick and the crew. Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Southeast Community College has learning centers in Falls City, Hebron, Nebraska City, Plattsmouth, Wahoo, and York, so that you can take credit and non-credit classes at a center nearby without having to travel an hour or more to campus. By taking online classes and those at a learning center, you can earn your degree from SEC where and when it's convenient for you, all at a cost that won't stand in the way of your education. Learn more about SCC's learning centers at southeast.edu/learning centers. SCC, your path to possible.
Springtime is here, and it's time to get to work on outdoor projects. Deck City is a great place to start as Lincoln's local source for everything decks. Deck City has everything you need to build the deck of your dreams. From treated lumber to Westbury aluminum railings and TimberTech composite decking. Call them today to schedule an appointment at 402-480-6671. Go online at deckcityne.com or visit their new location just north of 33rd and Cornhusker Highway.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Bach on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back, and it is a block party here on the block. Our new Friday tradition, as we have the guys from Sunday Rewind in, Mike Milby and Tom Stevens. And your guys' show is at 6 o'clock on Sundays, correct?
Still, yeah, we've made it 3 weeks, have not yet been canceled. So
there you go.
That is good.
Yeah, as long as you guys have a show, you're welcome to show up on Friday. If you guys get canceled,
what happens when we get canceled next week and we show up?
I'm not sure if
Friday?
you can come to the block party anymore. I'll have to check with DP about that. But good news for Nebraska is Friday Night Lights gets going. They already have a commitment. I don't think he's in town, but wide receiver out of Missouri, Jaden Doss, a 3-star wide receiver, commits to Nebraska today. And so very cool news there. Obviously, Mickey Joseph still got things rolling as wide receivers seem to be flocking to Nebraska.
Well, he's got Barry Jackson, O'Marion Miller, Joshua Manning, and Malachi Coleman at the Friday Night Lights event this weekend, too. 3 4-stars and a 3-star. So, yeah.
Yeah, could be doing worse. He's doing pretty good. I wanted to ask you guys about this. First of all, we'll get into the NIL stuff, but what Ryan Day said about Ohio State is that they need about, nowadays we're kind of seeing when Nick Saban kind of had his blowback when he was basically asking Alabama donors for money and started throwing other people under the bus, and that's why the whole dispute started there with Jimbo Fisher. But anyways, Ryan Day was at a similar event and said that to keep the roster together, he thinks he needs about $13 million for Ohio State. But Ohio State's philosophy here I like how he was kind of talking about it. He said if the speed's limit 45 miles per hour and you drive 45 miles per hour, a lot of people are going to pass you by. If you go too fast, you're going to get pulled over. So what's the middle ground that Ohio State wants it to hit? Is that maybe 53 miles per hour? Do you go up to 57? Right. So it's kind of, I like the driver analogy there so they're not trying to get into too much trouble, but keep pace and even try to push the pace a little bit to see what they need. So first of all, we'll get to the NIL stuff, but do you guys drive around 53 and a 45, or what's your limit?
I would. I here's what they're going to do, and what I would do. I'm going to drive until somebody knocks me over. Until somebody, so I see that red light. And if you know that you're never going to get arrested, and I think that's where coaches are. They don't know what the limit is. I mean, it could be 75 and you're still going 45.
Yeah.
I think a lot of coaches, and that's what Saban's big gripe, I think, with Jimbo Fisher was, not that he was cheating. It's that you're allowed to cheat legally now. I mean,
and Jimbo did it better than Nick did.
That's right. And because he had this, I think that's where we are, is there's no speed limit.
Right.
And that's what these coaches are saying. We need a speed limit because I'm already driving 53 and a 45, and it feels like I can go 65.
It's the Autobahn. It's the Autobahn of football, right?
Nobody, and there's no teeth from the NCAA. Nobody trusts them to do anything. They've admitted that they can't do much. I mean, I think it's just a matter of time. It's a matter maybe of months that you see the Power 5 schools, and you're seeing that already, break off on their own. There's nobody else in college football that can have a fund of 30, 40, $50 million like Texas is accumulating right now for NIL. And that's the speed limit that you've eventually got to figure out. But right now, as Strick says, it's the Autobahn. I mean, you can go as fast as you want.
Yeah, I don't think Ryan Day's gonna say if they raise 17 million. He's going, well, hold on, guys. I only asked for 13.
Okay, right. So the only rule is the schools cannot be involved. But Ryan Day's able to say, in order to make sure I keep my team together, I need 13 million.
Well, it's weird though because
where'd you get that number?
Right. It's weird though because
Strick, how much do you need to play next year?
I mean, that's the
Ohio
crazy
State?
thing about it, right? I mean, it's kind of like selective amnesia or something where you just throw it out there and you just have amnesia that the rules exist for what they are and they're not really rules. So let me just throw out something and let's see if it sticks on the wall and somebody comes flowing through.
Remember when Bach and I were doing a show when NIL was just getting started, and you had open doors around, and we were saying figures like you guys are making $1 million during their career, and people laughed at us.
Yeah.
Like now they're making, more than Jordan Addison's going to get $6, $7, $8 million by the time. I mean, people were laughing at it. And I always said that I think Nebraska can benefit from it, and people still don't like it. And I get that. But this thing, it's getting nuts. And at some point, maybe you need a college football czar. I think that's, or certainly a conference commissioner in the Big Ten's case with teeth. Or maybe just a Power 5 commissioner.
I want to throw out a name that if NIL was around back in 2017, a guy that could have made a boatload of money, and it's because he kind of became a cult hero that last year with Mike Riley, Jack Gangwish. Can you imagine how popular he was because of his motor, because of his personality, because of what he did on the field, off the field? He could have made $500,000 to $1 million, I would think.
And he wasn't a great football player.
And he was never going to play pro ball.
Yeah.
And there's a boatload of people that are now NCAA athletes that are going to make more money in college as an athlete than they ever would as a pro. And good for them.
I heard you guys talking about it earlier that college basketball is really going to benefit from NIL. And it makes me think back to Strick's days and some of those great teams you played on. You would have made some money, obviously, being a 3-sport athlete. But would you who other guys you played with that would have made big money in NIL?
I think one thing that's missed with NIL, I think, is your marketability as well as your charisma. Like if you have just some charisma to add on
big
top
smile.
of that, you can go a long way. I think guys like Tyronn Lue would have done well, but not next level because he was
too shy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think Jerron probably would have did. I think Badgett would have did well just because he has great charisma. Plus, he was a local kid.
Right.
I think Bruce Chubbuck would have did well.
Yeah.
He's the same way.
Pike
would have done well next level just because he had a freaking nickname in itself. He could have did hot dogs and Polish rifle. He could have done guns.
That's right. Polish rifle.
You know what I'm saying? So he just would have done it because Pike wasn't really he was extroverted around his friends. But in social elements, he was very reserved. And so he would have done well. Even in the NBA, Pike was still very reserved. He would have done well from just his namesakes. Of what he could.
Mikey Moore would have been fun with name, image, and likeness.
I think Mikey would have been fun.
There was two I wanted to ask you about. One was Mikey, because I knew Mikey and I knew the other guy, Bernard Garner, because I just knew him because they came into the gas station that I worked at all the time, and I was actually going to practice when you were playing and stuff, and rocking my mullet. And I think since I knew them away from the court, I saw they both were pretty gregarious, outgoing, outspoken, fun guys. And I kind of wonder if they would have done pretty well.
I think so. Bernard I think Mikey with his antics, he loved animals.
Oh,
like he freaking
Oh.
had a zoo at his house.
Michael
I would
Jackson,
never go listen, he was the Michael Jackson of college. It was like a zoo. You might have seen a kangaroo or something. I'm like, bro, where are you getting all these things? I would never go because I'm not.
Might bring something poisonous. You never know.
You don't know what's gonna jump out.
Do you still
at
talk to
Michael's
Mikey?
house. Mikey is doing good out in South Carolina. I don't have a number. He's really like just kind of. I think he kind of got like a little mini ranch, and he's kind of just out in South
Didn't
Carolina.
he make he was one of those guys that
career.
struggled forever and then just boom, made like $30 million in the NBA.
He stayed in the league for a long time.
Mikey,
13 years.
he understood what his role was. He understood, I'm going to set screens. I'm going to roll. I'm going to be able to hit this 15, 18 footer. I'm going to dunk. I'm going to run.
Right.
He just like, I know who I am. I know what they want, and I'm going to do what they want.
He's a little bit like a very poor version of Robert Williams. It was he scored. It was always alley-oops and always dunks. I think he led the NBA in field goal percentage one year because all he did was dunk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He really just found his niche. He understood how he needed to play. I think Tyronn did it a little bit different. Tyronn, because of his reserved nature and, he's not going to make noise. He's going to do his job. A lot of coaches liked him. Yeah. And I think he found, when he got with Doc down in Atlanta, they really, and he just said, I'm going to slide into this area. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some suggestions off the text line, guys, that would do well. Henry T is an example.
Henry T would have done good.
Yeah. You kind of think about.
I think Bo Reed.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Bo Reed. Somebody mentions Rex Burkhead. Obviously, was very popular.
Sexy
here.
Rexy.
Sexy Rexy.
Superman.
Cookie Belcher could have had a cookie companies, obviously.
Oh yeah, okay, the name. I love the name version.
And he and Lou were cousins, right?
Yeah. They were both shy
guys.
guys. Both of them were shy guys.
And then somebody asked, what kind of number would you put on Tim Tebow, who almost like, he was a star outside of football.
I'd make him pay me to utilize whatever product he's pushing. I don't like Tim Tebow.
Yeah, well, that's fair enough. But he was an absolute star.
He was a college. He is the epitome of superstardom in college.
Right.
Like, and another one of those I think is, I think Bobby Hurley too.
Oh yeah,
in basketball.
Yeah,
I think he was just him and Leitner.
Yeah,
it just seems to me like when you other than Grant Hill for Duke. Tell me, I'm not going back to the old guys, but from that point on, tell me who on Duke is like just emerged as superstardom. I mean, even when you look at other than Grant Hill,
JJ Redick was close.
No, sir. No, sir. Role player, always. He emerged because he can shoot,
which is funny because I thought Zion would be there right now.
Great, Jason Tatum. Coming, emerging.
But he was like not even a top 15 first round draft pick. I mean, he was late first round, wasn't he?
Tatum?
What was
he was third, actually.
Was he third?
Danny Ainge
Okay.
had the number 1 pick, traded down to the third pick because he knew he'd still
All right.
get Tatum.
Oh,
One
my
of the
bad.
best moves of
I
all
think
time.
I'm thinking. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
But like Elton Brand,
Jalen Brown was a little later, right?
I got one. Kyrie Irving.
Oh,
There
yeah,
you go.
there you go. Yeah.
Kyrie Irving, yeah. There
Kyrie.
you go.
But other than that, man, I mean, most guys that go to Duke just, I mean, look, another great college. What's my guy's name? He played a long career. Oh gosh, my mind's just drawing a blank. He played with Jason Williams.
Shane Battier.
Shane Battier.
Yeah. Oh, he was a great college
Great
player, too.
college
Yeah,
player.
absolutely.
Role player in the NBA.
Yeah.
It's like the system of Duke allows them to be great in what they
In that
do.
system.
But outside of the system, go ahead.
Name any quarterback that plays for Mike Leach. It's the system.
It's the system.
It's the system. I mean,
they've moved on to do pretty well in coaching for some reason. Cliff Kingsbury and and Crumbie
but literally it's the system that Mike Krzyzewski ran.
Yeah.
That makes them stars because they run it to the T.
Yeah.
They do what they're supposed to do, and they're unbelievable. Get to the NBA where you need more of a rounded game, and it's not focused on what you do well.
Mm-hmm.
You're a role player.
The Tim Tebow of Nebraska is definitely Eric Crouch. I mean, had there been NIL, that guy would have been a millionaire at Nebraska.
Oh gosh, yes. Oh yeah, and he had charisma too.
Right.
Do
But
think?
he
I thought
definitely
he did.
did. He was
I
a
thought he had
great guy. But you always knew that guy, unless maybe he changes to a defensive back or wide receiver, he's never going to play in the NFL. We all knew that.
Yeah.
You know who would have done well? Marlon Lucky.
Yeah,
freshman
Oh,
Marlon
just the
Lucky.
name?
Yeah, no, just because his freshman year, we thought everybody said he's the next Reggie Bush. He would have made a lot of money coming in.
Touchdown Tommy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He would have hit a mint. I think.
Oh, absolutely.
I think touchdown Tommy would have hit a mint. He would have been up there with Bryce Young.
Oh yeah.
3
Oh
million
yeah.
plus.
Oh yeah.
And it would have benefited touchdown Tommy. The reason being is he had the blood clots. He wasn't able to play at the NFL.
Right.
Short stint in Canada. That would have been like the blessing for him.
But he deserved.
He deserved.
Because that's what I always go back to is Adrian, and it's no fault of Adrian or the current players, but Adrian's made a lot of money where Tommy and Turner Gill and Garrett Crouch didn't. At least we don't know. College football has had their deals behind.
I always said the Jason Peter brothers.
Oh, absolutely.
Because they just could have ran up the street to Peterbilt and just hit a mint right there, all by itself. Just drive up to Peterbilt, sit down with them, have a conversation, and we are winning in the NIL money. Peterbilt.
Real quickly, I want to go finish up with what Ryan Day is. So just kind of what you guys kind of think about these numbers he threw out there. Day said the Buckeyes have been gathering information by talking to recruits and their families and getting a sense of what other schools might be discussing with NIL deals. So Day believes right now the top shelf quarterbacks require about $2 million in NIL money. Major offensive tackles and edge rushers, he said, are about $1 million. So if you're looking at recruiting against Ohio State, in that category, that's kind of what you're looking at. And you wonder if like the bottom part of the recruiting class isn't going to be as good as it was in the past because they fill it up at the top.
Oh yeah.
And then, the guys at the bottom be like, well, what about me? I'm going to Ohio State too. Or I'll go somewhere else and make money if there's nothing
So
left.
your depth goes out the window, and if any of those guys get hurt, you're naked. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say there's a story I saw just briefly before I actually came down here about a guy that's involved in a recruiting service, ranking stories on it and all that. And he's hearing that, bands used to have writers. They still do, hey, if we're going to come play for you, the promoter, you've got to give us this food and that water and this beer and all that type of stuff. There's college athletes now that are like, okay, one of my requirements if I go to school is I need, one of them was 36 bags of Skittles delivered to my dorm room or my apartment every single day.
That's crazy. I think I would have won in one aspect. I think they had like kind of mice killers and, rat killers because one of my nicknames was Strychnine. So
that's right.
You would have been able to just freaking.
That's right.
I would have been able to go to any of the killers and do all the commercials where I'm defending people and I'm killing them. and I'm going to the hoop and I'm dunking on them, and you're dying.
It's not too
to go
late.
to Strickland.
We can get that done
Let's get
today.
it done.
Let's
Jay.
get that done.
Open doors. Come holler at Stricky. We're getting it done.
He's in Lincoln now. Come find him.
The NIL deals are still possible. As you just we'll do it for the radio show here. We'll take a quick break here on the Block Party, and we'll be back. We'll wrap it up on the block for the week. Coming up next year on 93.7 The Ticket.
2-1 count, and that's a deep drive into the gap. Smith rounding first base. It's a stand-up double.
Hey, Nick, speaking of doubles, did you know Wings and Rings has 2 ways to enjoy their next-level food?
Rico, we're in the middle of a game.
The game can wait, Nick. One way is to stop by one of their Lincoln locations. They have 2 great locations at O Street, Meridian Park, and 40th and Old Cheney in Williamsburg Village.
You said 2 ways. What's the other way?
You can order online at wingsandrings.com.
Springtime is here, and it's time to get to work on outdoor projects. Deck City is a great place to start as Lincoln's local source for everything decks. Deck City has everything you need to build the deck of your dreams. From treated lumber to Westbury aluminum railings and TimberTech composite decking. Call them today to schedule an appointment at 402-480-6671. Go online at deckcityne.com or visit their new location just north of 33rd and Cornhusker Highway.
The weather in Nebraska is unpredictable every day, and that's no fun when you're trying to golf. Double Eagle Golf in West Lincoln is now open to let you play in perfect indoor conditions daily. Double Eagle Golf has 5 simulator bays to hit in, by far the most in Lincoln. It has a fully stocked bar with beers and cocktails for you to enjoy while you play. Double Eagle Golf is open each weekday from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m., so you can start the day there, take a client over lunch, or end the night with friends. Check out Double Eagle Golf today inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street.
I present the fruitcake. Long the subject of jokes, ridicule, derision, but did the fruitcake accept its place in the culinary totem pole? No! The fruitcake sought to rise to its full potential at Beatrice Bakery. Premium nuts, high-quality fruits, and the delectable trio of brandy, bourbon, and rum. Grandma's fruitcake is no punchline, but a decadent treat that packs a punch of flavor.
Check out Grandma's Fruitcake and all the delicious desserts at Beatrice Bakery. Welcome to our world of yum.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealership, is searching for mechanics of all skill levels to grow with us. Landmark offers a competitive wage, full benefits package, along with paid time off within just 60 days of employment, as well as a 401k and a boot and clothing allowance. Interested in becoming a part of the Landmark difference? Apply now at landmarkimp.com/careers or contact Deanna 402-310-7561 or email careers@landmarkimp.com. That's landmarkimp.com. Landmark Implement is an equal opportunity employer.
Your home should not be a zoo to unwelcomed animals. Let the experts at Bats to Rats take care of those problems. Dane has been a leader in wildlife and pest management and prevention in Lincoln and the surrounding area for 15 years. He can help you get rid of bats, rodents, and anything else. Whether it's residential or commercial buildings, schools, apartments, or churches, they're always a phone call away. Call today at 402-310-0904 or visit batsterats.com. Bats to Rats Wildlife Control and Prevention.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Bach on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Wrapping up the block party here on the block on 93.7 The Ticket. I hope you guys have a great weekend and maybe head out there Friday Night Lights at Memorial Stadium if you want to catch some of the future of Husker football.
Are you going,
out
Bach?
there.
Are you going?
I don't think I will, to be honest with you.
It's a beautiful night to do it.
It
If
is
you're
a
gonna
nice
do
night
It's
too.
a
Yeah.
beautiful
Did you ever hit any of the Riley Friday Night Lights camps?
I didn't. Obviously, Micah Parsons was there at times.
Yeah.
I mean, they had some.
Those
names
were
in.
fun.
Is he a
Yeah.
gym or is he not a gym? Micah Parsons.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Man,
He
and,
is a
and
phenomenal
he turned out.
gym.
I mean, Mike's a big Cowboys fan. That was a steal in the
Yeah.
draft.
Oh, yeah.
That guy is a
Yes.
stud.
I got to end the block.
Yeah.
Sutter Heyman text line 402-464-5685. What is the biggest Dumbo move that Nebraska basketball or football, I'm going to stay more to football, made over the last 10 years and who we missed? I.e., Joe Burrow, someone. So,
Yeah, there you go.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the
Like,
obvious
You
one.
think he's
for
better
you.
than what we got, Strick?
The kid wants to come and we freaking
Twice.
we freaking Adrian Martinez the ball on the 10-yard line.
Oh,
No, I'm just playing. That was just a joke. But no, I'm saying, who to you? Sutter Heyman text line fired up 402-464-5685. Who to you is the biggest Dumbo move? I already said who I thought it was. But who to you is the biggest Dumbo move that he was laying in our laps and we dropped the ball? Talk to me.
oh wow.
There's one, and Jay Foreman can tell you the guy's name. I don't remember. He was the number 2 or 3 draft pick in the NFL draft. I wound up going to Georgia, I believe, but he literally was begging to come to Nebraska. And the Riley regime said, "Nah, we don't want him."
The Nebraska
What is that
game.
commercial? What is that commercial where the movie is an airplane
Yeah.
when everybody goes, they start slapping their head? That's one of those moments.
There is a rumor, and I think it's pretty been validated over the years. Nebraska scouted Barry Sanders and thought he was too small.
Or wondered if it was a defensive back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They've
Wow.
Emmett Smith also was pretty close.
Yeah, Emmett
Well-
Smith put on the Nebraska, he helped put on the Nebraska hat or put it over his head and then switched it and said he was going to Florida.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
are tough ones. I still
Yeah.
think of the in-state guys like Harrison Phillips and Noah Fant that you let get away and go on to be All-Americans or first-round draft picks. That's a little longer ago, but
Yeah.
What are they saying on the Sutter Heyman text line?
so yeah, somebody mentions Emmett Smith. Asked maybe Bubba Starling if you could have got him to stay. He went on to play baseball. Joe Burrow's thrown out there. Hammond Beans makes a joke about Harvey. He just says Harvey Perlman. Which they had Harvey Perlman long enough. I think.
That might be the best answer.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's some out there, man, that we literally, I think Cluster was telling me, I can't remember who it was. He was telling me about someone not too long ago, just pretty recent, that I'm gonna have to find out. I'll maybe have it tomorrow on the show, but I just think that so we were talking about recruiting. And so here's the thing about it, that we're talking about the unique difference between some of the recruiting methods done now and how Tom and my best friend literally teared up because he was telling me, Cluster Johnson, shout out, he was telling me about Tom Osborne.
Mm-hmm.
And when Tom Osborne sat down with Mickey Joseph's family and laid out the framework on why he should come to Nebraska, his mom looked at him and said, "You're going to Nebraska." Just because of Tom Osborne. And that authenticity, I think, is missed these days. It's an important part of the element of recruiting that I think is being missed.
Just real quick, I wanted to mention some other ideas out there. Danny Woodhead, obviously, is one that gets brought up a lot.
Another guy they thought was too small.
Augie says Marshall Falk, who they were pretty close on.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Tried to make him a defensive back. Marshall Falk.
Marshall Falk?
Yeah.
That's why they didn't get him. They tried to make him a defensive
How about
back.
lately, Brees Hall, the cousin of Roger Craig, who was the Iowa State running back All-American the last couple of years, and I think the second or first running back picked in the last NFL draft.
He's going to be good.
Yeah,
He ran like a 4.3 40 too.
Yeah. So those are some misses. We'll wrap it up, though. That is the block party, and wrap it up for On the Block for the week. Everybody have a great week, and we'll be back on Monday ready for some fresh, hot sports takes. And hopefully the Celtics are up 2-0. We'll see you.
Southeast Community College has learning centers in Falls City, Hebron, Nebraska City, Plattsmouth, Wahoo, and York so that you can take credit and non-credit classes at a center nearby without having to travel an hour.